Hello everybody, and welcome back. I'm Christo. This is another Victoria 3 edited after-action report, whatever you want to call it. So we're playing as the US. I played as the US twice, but not on recent patches. They are obviously extremely powerful. And I have some goals. So first off, I've played 3 campaigns, 2 of them with these after-action reports, and I have never managed to pass multiculturalism. I don't really understand how you passed it, how you're meant to pass it, and I have strategically, for the sake of my enjoyment of the game, not looked up what the kind of cheesy strat to get it passed is. So my objective, because I'm liking kind of, learning as we go. So I'm not going to look up how you pass it, but one of our objectives is pass multiculturalism, and even before we pass multiculturalism, we're obviously going to be trying to get a massive number of migrants. We're going to try and persuade all of Europe that they don't want to live in Europe. They want to live over here in the United States. We're going to form a power bloc, of course, and our objective for the power bloc is to control... There's no box select in this game, right? Of course, because there's no units that you control that way. We want to control the entire American continent, and I think it should be one continent. I get the reasoning, but I think there should be one continent. Anyway, we're going to control this whole region. That's the idea. And also, I think Greenland, we'll count Greenland probably. Where there are questions as to whether it counts or not, I will err in favor of counting it. We might take Iceland as well, just because it would be fun to kind of control this whole region. We might even try and take like Cape Verde and the Azores and the... What are these? So those are the Azores. These are the Canary Islands. We may take those as well, just for fun. And we want to control the Pacific. We're not going to take any mainland Asian land, but I think I might try and take everything else. Maybe we'll try and take all islands. That could be kind of fun. Yeah, that could be a fun challenge. Let's do, so Americas plus all islands. So basically everything except Afro-Eurasia. Is there a name for this body? I mean, it's sometimes called the Old World, isn't it? This region. I think maybe I'm going to try and take everything that isn't this region. And by take, I mean it has to be either in our power block or controlled by us. And we can never form a sovereign empire unless we were to become a monarchy, which I find unlikely. So we can only be an ideological union or a trade league, and of those two, we're basically going to have to be a trade league. Could also do military treaty, but I don't think that's very good. So we're probably going to be a trade league. And yeah, that's the plan. Further to that, not only am I not aiming to take land in Africa, Europe, or Asia, we are not allowed to take land in Africa, Europe, or Asia. And first off, that's going to mean goodbye, Liberia. You can be independent. We are not interested in Africa because I've done a couple of games where I've done kind of rushes to try and colonize Africa. We're not going to do that this time. My next game, I'm thinking, is probably going to be Super Germany. We might try and do a World Conquest Super Germany. That could be interesting. I will probably fail, but I think that could be interesting. But yeah, America plus all islands. And the idea of having all the islands is partly to... thematically, is to give us kind of trade access, right? Oh, and Great Britain does not count for this purposes as an island, I think, because that would be annoying. But yeah, should be good. And yeah, so we're not allowed to take any land in these areas. That doesn't mean we won't go to war with the great powers. How migration works, I think you can get... Yeah, so migrant attraction receives migrants from the American market. But mass migrations, I think, can a mass migration happen even when the country has migration controls in place? I don't know. I'll need to look into that. And we'll try and figure that out. I assume you can't get the corn laws as America, because obviously the first problem we have is those darn dirty racists in the South have, and not only racists, but incompetent economists have slavery going on. I'm guessing the corn laws don't exist in America. Yeah, it looks like that's the case. Cool. So we're going to have to resolve that. And ideally, I want to resolve it by there being a civil war and then us getting African American as a primary culture. Is it called African American in Victoria 3? Afro American. Okay, we want to get Afro American as a primary culture, because then if we get the which law is it that allows? Sorry, not. I should get my left hand on the keyboard here rather than just playing with my mouse. We need to. It's cultural exclusion, I think. You have to share a cultural heritage trait. Or shares any cultural trait. No, so it is a cultural heritage trait, right? The African heritage. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it says heritage, doesn't it? So if we did that, then we'd be able to get accepting all of these cultures, which would be, you know, pretty bonkers. Because that would mean we could get, basically, the Europeans are going to colonize Africa. They're going to be unpleasant to the locals, and then the locals all immigrate to the US instead. That would be pretty dope. That's the play. Early on, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to industrialize, try and weaken the landowners, get some good laws passed. I don't know the meta strategy for dealing with the Civil War and ending slavery and stuff, so we'll just see how the events go. I guess I'm probably going to be very uncompromising. Like, I'm not going to want to let any of these new states be slave states. We're not going to have any, whatever it is. Is it 1812 compromise shenanigans? I think it's 1812 compromise. I can't remember. My American Civil War history is not superb. We'll probably get our power block going pretty early. The notable conflict early is with the landowners. Second notable conflict, of course, is going to be Mexico, who we will be looking to eventually annex, because Mexico, culturally speaking, we have European heritage. So right now, Mexican pops should not be discriminated against, right? Because Mexico, what have you got? You got Mexican. Okay, so some of them would be. Let me see. Here. Yeah, so primary culture is Mexican, which has European heritage. So Mexican would not be discriminated against. But Mexico... Can I not see the whole... I can't see their population broken down by... Like, I can't see any pie charts of their population? Really? Surely I can. Maybe here? No? Is there no... okay, well, let's just look at the cities then. So it looks like Mexico is kind of between 80 and 50% Mexican, and then it has a bunch of these local indigenous populations. Obviously, Mexican is going to be mixed. Partly indigenous, partly not. So indigenous American heritage. I don't think we're going to be able to get indigenous American heritage. Well, I don't know what happens, actually. We'll see how the events take place with, like, the Indian Territory and the Trail of Tears and stuff. We'll see how that goes. Ideally, if we could get indigenous American heritage accepted as well, that would be great. Obviously, multiculturalism would do that for us. But, yeah, that would be great, because there are reasonable numbers of people with indigenous heritage, especially in South America. I probably am going to aim to actually annex all of the Americas, but it's not a strict goal, but I will probably want to anyway, just because there are way more ways to interact with your subjects than there used to be, but I still think it's better to just own land directly, especially if you're not discriminating against the locals. So, also, I'm going to try and get a stonking great economy going. America is extremely well placed for that. We obviously have stupendous capacity for agriculture as well as mining and things. We have stupid quantities of oil in Texas and things, so we've got all that. There's rubber in Mexico, and if we take Indonesia, because again we're allowing ourselves the islands and the New World. Maybe I won't take islands in Europe. Maybe it's just islands around the rest of the world. I probably shouldn't take Japan either. Maybe we try and subjugate Japan or something. Anyway, late game goals. I aim potentially to be able to go over the infamy cap. I think that would be interesting. I've never done it before, and I'd like to experiment with it. But yes, early on, we're going to crank the economy and get a ton of innovation going. We start pretty darn literate, so we've got a lot of innovation that we could be doing. And I now understand that you can go over the innovation cap and it's still useful for spread, which will be good because I'm not going to research any military techs. So the spread is going to be very useful to giving us a bunch of free military techs as the Europeans invent them. But, sorry, yes, so I was mentioning early game conflict. Alright, early-ish game, probably mid-game. I really want to take Canada. There's lots of pops up here. There's lots of arable land that will get immigration. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on Britain. And hopefully they get into a big tussle against, you know, like France and Prussia or something. And then we can dart in and try and take Canada off them. That's the plan. I will check back in when something dramatic goes down. And yeah, I think I'm going to do a few more little kind of inter-run updates this time. Like actually checking in when yeah, big stuff goes down. And I'll see you then. So, checking in. Funny trick you can do. The Apache controlled just this little bit of space, but then they declared a native uprising against Mexico. So I backed the Apache, got war ripped off Mexico, and liberated 2 of their provinces. And then simultaneously I went to war with them to liberate Texas, because I thought there was an event where you could get Texas to become a state, but I guess that's only if Texas keeps existing from the start of the game, not if they get yoinked. So we are going to have to go to war with Texas, I think, to annex them. Power block develops nicely. We have secured Central America pretty successfully. Guatemala and Los Altos are wanting to come into our block. We are blocked, by the way, is of course the United Nations of America. We are the United States with the United Nations. It seems sensible. We're a trade league, external trade rather, and we have quite a few subjects: Haiti, Venezuela, New Grenada, Honduras, Nicaragua. And soon, Argentina, because there was another native uprising against Argentina, and we sided with the native uprising to subjugate Argentina, which is good. It's going to let us colonize some of this, I think, because this province, yeah, only Argentina has claims here, which means we might be able to colonize down there. We would need to switch the type of colonization we have. So in other news, yeah, we're going to have a civil war, it looks like, which would be bit of a problem. It looked like we were going to be able to get slavery banned, no problem. When I was enacting the local police force, which we did, of course, sorry, the dedicated police force, to remove the local police force because this empowers the southern planters, they tried to do a revolution then, but they only had 60 radicalism, whereas now it's 119. I don't know why it's so high. Comparatively, I guess this multiplier is different depending on how much they hate the law that you're passing, potentially. But yeah, other than that, progressing pretty well. You know, the line goes up, not as fast as I would like, but we're getting there, we're getting there. The fact that I'm not going and grabbing, you know, South African gold and things is not helping our line, but I'm happy with our growing block, and we'll see what happens to the Civil War. I will attempt to stop it. Like, I'll try to just get this through purely based on the intelligentsia and our movement, but I don't like our odds. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so they did rebel. I thought we were going to do a peaceful restoration, which is kind of, I don't know, in some ways it's better, but in some ways it's worse, because you can't get the Afro-American culture accepted. But yes, we can also skip ahead on slavery banned. The Emancipation Proclamation. Boom. Slavery is banned. Excellent, which means we're now allowed to go to cultural exclusion as well, which I will do while we don't have a landowners. The yeoman farmers are pretty powerful, by the by. They got a lot of votes, I believe. I think their clout comes from, yeah, quite a lot of votes in the last election. Same with the petite bourgeoisie, because we did go to universal suffrage, which is probably a mistake in some ways, but I think it's fine. I mean, it's going to empower. It would normally empower, yeah, the yeoman farmers and the church, but because they're both so weak, they're not really a big deal. But yes, Civil War should be trivial. I've built all of my army in the north rather than in the south, so we should have no problem there. And also, oh look, another native uprising. Ah, no! I thought we were going to be able to back another uprising against Mexico and make Ute here have that'd be a bunch bigger, and then we could counter-colonize them. I am immediately colonizing this guy that we helped, by the way. But yeah, Civil War. Here we go. So on this front right now, we have 21,600 men, and they have 680. Sorry, Confederates. Get absolutely craps on. They have 18 divisions. Oh, they've recruited some more men, but oh, sorry, got your capital. So now I'm just going to sit here for a couple of months, and then we win. GG. Yoink. There we go. Reconstructing the nation. House cannot dismantle itself. We get Reconstruction, readmit secessionists, equality for all, and Wild Wild West. So this has a whole bunch of associated things, right? So we're trying to get Reconstruction so that we can... I think the effect of this is that you get Dixie back as a primary culture. Because right now... No, we still have Yankee and Dixie. So maybe you lose Dixie if you don't have it. But let's take a look here. Okay, so what we have to do is, first off, not let our devastation or turmoil exceed 10% in our provinces that are not Dixie and Yankee homelands. So, you know, out here. We have to incorporate everywhere and not give them the unreconstructed state modifier. And then also you have to have loyalist Dixies equal to 0.2 in Dixie homelands. Cool. And also equality for all, we have to not discriminate against Afro-American, which we are going to be able to do very shortly. Excellent. That all seems doable. We had a little bit of a financial crisis there for a moment, but yeah, we're going to be able to lower our taxes now, which is good, because we were getting some pretty... The raised taxes, we could, we could do it from a legitimacy perspective, but from a loyalist perspective, it was causing real problems, and people were starving. But we will get that under control, and it's also time for us to say, hey, Mexico, give me a bunch of stuff, which should be fun. Loving this political scene at the moment. We have the Republican Party with 100% of the support, and everyone else is marginalized. I imagine the armed force is going to unmarginalize because we are passing a professional army, which will be interesting. But yeah, right now we got old Edmund Gaines here presiding over this, and look at that, universal suffrage, 100% of the votes. Love to see it. And thus, Reconstruction comes to a close. Meanwhile, we've done some conquering, we've done some uniting. America is rapidly coming under our grip. But unfortunately, I did not manage to readmit the secessionist states properly. 42 out of 46 have been running very low taxes to desperately try and increase loyalists, but it just isn't enough. And as far as I can tell, there is no way to tell how many loyalists there are per state, which is annoying. So there was no real way for me to say, okay, these are where these guys are. What do I need to do in order to make enough of them loyalists? It seems like a lot of them are loyalists, but well. Steel frame buildings, by the way. And yes, 0.6% credit interest, which is pretty nice. So I think we will lose the Dixie as a primary culture, but I don't see how that matters at all, because they're Anglophone and European heritage, which means unless we were on ethno-state, we would always accept them. Because this would be, shares a cultural heritage trait with any primary country in their country. So, doesn't seem like it matters that we're going to lose it, but maybe there's something else associated with the event. We'll see. A nation reconstructed. So yes, we get Afro-American primary culture and Dixie stops. Cool. Which, yeah, shouldn't increase the number of discriminated pops at all. We can actually start taxing again, which would be nice. I'm going to cut those government wages back down. We had some very high government wages, so I'm going to cut them all the way back down and then go straight back up to... Yeah, there we go. The mere minus 100,000 now. We need to we need to do something about that. I mean, the debt doesn't matter because of this, but we don't want to run out of principles, so... Some hardcore building for GDP will follow. Momentarily checking in to say goodbye, Brazil. Nice. That's going to be a lot easier to piecemeal vassalize, I think. Excellent. Nice. And as a last thing to round out my day of Victoria 3, we beat the British. We massively militarized. We're still only having to spend... Okay, that's quite a lot. £500,000 Is this a month or a week? I think it's a week, right? On military goods, but there we go. Transfer Lower Canada, Columbia District, Hudson's Bay Company, and New Brunswick. Please and thank you. Goodbye, Britain. Excuse me, what just happened? Oh, there we go, okay. The colours didn't change, and I freaked out. We can also now confederate Canada, right? We can, there should be an option for this. We can we can unite these under Quebec, I think. We need to be at peace. And we have to have amicable relations with these guys. Okay, cool. And then we can confederate them all under Quebec, who is a dominion. Although I think these are all dominions as well. No, Oregon's actually a puppet, as is Quebec. Sorry, under Ontario. Interesting. So maybe I won't... I mean, which would it confederate them under, actually? But anyway, we faced the Royal Navy at sea, by the way, and completely obliterated them. So I'm quite pleased with that. And yes, we will be at peace soon. We just have to get control here. Meanwhile, down in the south, our power block is remaining pretty steadfast. Looking pretty good. GDP continuing to skyrocket. Slowed a little bit because we went hard at investing on the military. But easily corrected. That'll do it for today for Victoria 3, I think. But don't worry, the episode will continue from your perspective in mere moments. Hello. So progress continues nicely. I just noticed something that I thought was funny. Look at this. The GDP per capita is our subject, us, our subject, our subject, our subject. One German guy, our subject, our subject, our subject. And our gross domestic product is 5 times the British Republic, which is the second place one. Nice. Nice. We are approaching a problem in terms of lack of people. I haven't been doing any conquering or any uniting. How many people are there in Canada? We might unite with Canada. It's only 5 million, though. Maybe I should just straight up conquer Mexico. But yeah, we've almost finished uniting America under our banner. Mexico, Brazil, 2 British states and 1 French state are all that remain. And yeah, going pretty well. I abandoned the ideas about going to Australia, by the way. I like just focusing on the Americas. It's been fun. There's lots of rubber, as it turns out, in South America. So that's been helpful. Yeah, we are running a 1.7 million in the red with our 6,000 construction. But we're getting there. It's partly just because there isn't enough private investment. Only 1.1 million per week. Gah, not enough. Not enough. We're also not going to be able to be communist, it looks like. I briefly had a communist intelligentsia, but not trade unionists. But people are living at large regardless, so that's okay. If we get the opportunity, I keep checking for agitators, if we can get any communist agitators, but it seems like no one's gone communist. And obviously when we had the Red Scare happen in our country, it was very easily crushed because the like it just went away on its own without me doing anything, because we just had so many loyalists. Because we've been basically, since I tried to integrate South America, the country has just been fantastically loyal. We're on max taxes with a bunch of consumption taxes targeting 15 and above wealth levels. And yeah, it's been good. It's been good. But yeah, let's try. I think, yeah, maybe I'll focus on integrating Canada. In fact, I could probably do that right now. Yeah, let's unite with Canada just to try and get a bit more population. It will cause some radicals. So we did finally get a communist agitator. And as in this complex political simulator, that means that instantly our ruling party is now 100% in favor of communism. So we are enacting Council Republic. Apart from that, Brazil is now our subject, which leaves only Mexico and the British holdings in America left to take over. We yoinked a little bit here from France, and I just gave it to Amazonia. Because I think I'm just going to stay with these borders. We might also integrate Canada and Mexico directly into the US. Just be, you know, this big northern bloc. But I'm probably just going to leave these guys independent down in the south. I mean, I was thinking about, you know, we want their population, but we're already stealing their population. Like, I mean, we're getting a huge quantity of immigration up here. And if we look at one of these states, I suspect these guys are going... No, they're just going to Amazonas. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, there's a certain amount of immigration just going through the block up here, which is good. But yes, we'll go Council Republic. I have a massive pile of money that I'm frantically trying to spend, but like, we don't need anything. And I don't know, so I'm just cranking out tons of fairly random buildings. Sure, California. Have 50 tooling workshops and 50 fertilizer plants and 50 explosive factories, and you've already got 50 glass works. Have 50, you know, furniture manufactories. I don't know. It's at that kind of stage of the game where I feel like the gameplay loop really breaks down when you just have stupid amounts of money and I can't spend it all. I guess I could drop taxes, but there's not really any reason to. I guess I could get an extra 20 legitimacy, actually. Which would help me, yeah, sure, okay, let's drop taxes. This will help us pass this thing faster, I think. Or is that only when you go to higher one? Anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to go Council Republic, and hopefully it won't crash our economy like it did in the Belgian game. Well, I mean, that was the cooperative ownership that crashed our economy, but we'll try that. We'll try co-op ownership again and see what happens. With a bigger buffer this time. Oh, they're mad. They're very mad about the idea of Council Republic. Let's see if I can avoid a revolution. I won't do it if there is a risk of revolution. Like if the revolution is going to fire, because I would lose and that would be annoying. But that's pretty funny. 295. Yeah, the petty bourgeoisie, intelligentsia, southern partisans, and the evangelicals are all very, very pissed about the prospect of a Council Republic. So we'll see. Okay, so the glorious, peaceful communist revolution didn't work. So in a funny twist of fate, I'm enacting censorship, which will make the petit bourgeoisie happier with us, which means they won't go radical when I try and implement it next time. That's the idea, at least. So yes, the first path to communism, censorship. Very on theme. Okay, we didn't get censorship in, but I did manage to get them happy enough by attacking. I managed to appease some foreign political lobbies by attacking Britain, which means I think they're going to let me pass it. And I've taken off all my consumption taxes, or most of them, so we have a bunch of authority again. We tried passing outlaw censorship, then we also tried outlawed dissent. Unfortunately, in both cases, we did fail. We ended up getting some revolutionary workers' unions. They didn't know. Also, we have a strike going on. Oh, Jesus. A huge Canadian revolt as well. Also, yeah, Texas is in open rebellion because if we look at the cultures, there's a total of 57,000 Dixie. And apart from that, there's a bunch of Afro-Americans who are not discriminating against, but the Comanche, who we sadly very much are, have declared independence. But we'll be putting them down. No worries. But yeah, hopefully this split focus means that we are going to be able to get Council Republic through. Oh, the things we do for political lobbies. 100 regiments landing in London. Being really not very well resisted by the British. And yeah, the number of British defenders just being absolutely wiped out. Oh yeah, and we're conquering Ireland as well. We're liberating Ireland in this war. I added it to try and make Britain back down. But of course, they had minus 93. This enemy is extremely likely to back down, aka this enemy has 0% chance of backing down. So here we are. I guess we are going to, in fact, liberate Ireland and Australia while we're at it, which is in the middle of a religious civil war. Is this their capital state? It is. So as soon as we occupy the capital state, I mean, I don't know how it would define the capital state of Ireland. I guess it's what the capital state will be once they're independent. But yeah, we're giving it a go. Oh, the communist Rio Grande Civil War. Interesting. I missed that that was happening. Oh, and radical Amazonia. It's all kicking off while I'm not paying as much attention. Oh yeah, and we're losing 5 million a month, which is a little intense. Excuse me, I control the capital. Neither the capital nor the following war goals. Where's your capital, Britain? It's not here. It's Ulster. Okay. Interesting. And why? How did I just lose? Oh, the friggin... I hate it so much when the front splits and then suddenly you don't control any of the relevant bit. Darn, we're losing control here. I'll take problematic child. Alright. We'll get there though. We'll get there though. Alright, there we go. After a rather bloody fight for Belfast. Do I want to... I mean, I guess I might as well liberate Ireland. Sure, you can keep Australia. As a treat. Boom. If Belfast was the place I had to... Why would I not liberate Northern Ireland? I mean, I can see why it happened historically, but that wasn't being imposed by a foreign force. Anyway, never mind. Yoink. My subject, my land, my land. Hey, Canada. Congratulations. Have Newfoundlands. There we go. And sure, Venezuela. Congratulations. Have the other half of Guyana. Good. Don't take it anywhere else. The others were all just subject transfers. Nice. Alright, everyone comes home just in time for Council Republic to hopefully pass. Yes, taming Amazonia, but we don't need to do that because we're not going to have any of it. Everyone comes home just in time for another civil war. And hopefully... Sorry, another, civil war in a puppet. And hopefully... Council Republic. Hey, it passed. Council Republic. Excellent. Trade union strength. So yeah, basically, this doesn't really change much, apart from giving the, changing the way you calculate legitimacy. The important thing is it unlocks cooperative ownership. So I wonder if we're also going to get a problem with this. No, it's only the industrialists that hate this. Excellent. Okay. Well, let's go straight on into that. Maybe reform the government. Let's see if there's any... Yeah, we can bring the... I do think it's funny. We've got the... Communist trade unionists and the fascist petit bourgeoisie, who are very happy to work together on political matters, it seems. So I know this will hurt our migration attraction, but I do think it's funny. So I'm trying to up the standard of living a bit because we had a little radical bump, and so yeah, we're building. What is this? Like 200, 400, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe about. I don't know, 1,000 wheat farms across the west of America. I'm just trying to find things to do with my 10,000 construction points. We just built about, I don't know, 400 to 500 tobacco things because our lower class was spending, they're still spending quite a bit on coffee, but that's because I am consumption taxing coffee. Because it didn't used to be this significant for them, because it only kicks in once you're at 15 wealth or higher. So, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. The standard of living is, yeah, not ideal. Financial situation is not incredible either. I'm very interested to see what happens when we when we switch onto cooperative ownership, because the buildings that I've been building being constantly privatized. The investment pool is just frantically privatizing all the time, basically. And that's been keeping us healthy on income. So, we'll see. All right, here it is. Council ownership is done. We have gone from 2 million to 136,000 investment pool. And I think, I don't know why that's... Yes, there we go. Now it is negative. There is still some investment, but... I forget how it works. The financial districts just go away, like 1,000 a month or something. Sorry, 1,000 a week or something. It looks like there's 1,000 already gone. We'll see as they go this week. How many? Yeah, looks like 1,000 of them are going every week, and we're getting mixed. How does it work? Yeah, so you get just direct ownership. The workers get direct ownership over the plants. Remember when we had that nice stockpile of cash ahead of this kicking in, by the way? I remember. Ooh, these consumption taxes are cheaper. Why are they cheaper? That's interesting. Well, let's get some of those in then. Nice. 200,000 from the coffee one. Yeah, I really don't want to turn off the coffee consumption tax. I could underpay the military, but they're really not paid much anyway. The government wages have been hard stuck at like nothing. We do have a fascist coup being plotted as well, by the way. I've never gone fascist in the game. I don't know. Seems bad. Hot takes from Christo, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Income tax. So income tax is higher. Obviously, the consumption tax are going up. Right, okay, so you can dividend... So they own everything, but you're still extracting dividend taxes from them in pretty substantial amounts. And privatization is disabled, which means that the investment pool is no longer going to take buildings off me that I construct. So, for example, the electronics industries here in New York... No, that's right, because when I build them, I won't have ownership of them. I'll just be giving it straight to local workforce. Okay. I need to actually start using these radios, by the way. I think I invented stuff in the wrong order. We need... What is it? Or do I already have it? Now I think about it. Sorry, no, this isn't exactly... Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, so we can go to this. Nice, I'm going to be able to fire a lot of bureaucrats in a moment. By going to switchboards, look at that. 15,000 extra. So congratulations, bureaucrats of New York. Many of you are fired. Look at that. Lots of radicals going to be created by this. I recommend not playing this game unless you have an auto clicker, by the way. It's honestly miserable. Yes, I know there's ways you can do that a little better. Still, I should probably have subsidized this industry for a bit first, but I built 140 levels of it with no demand, so we're not optimizing. We're not optimizing. I can almost bring Brazil down, and then we're just waiting for Mexico to get full control over the continent. But let's see if I can not have the economy implode under Council Republic. Just wanted to show you the absolutely devastating kill ratios we have in what I think will be the final war for the Americas. But yeah, look at this. Oh, actually, that's not as outrageous. It was like 10-1 earlier. Maybe it is still down here. No, actually, ratios have got a bit worse now the Bengalis have arrived to defend them. But yes, it won't do them much good. Oh, and I realized that I forgot to collectivize agriculture, as one does. So I'm doing that now. Maybe that's what'll crash the economy. Who knows? We shrunk our construction down from 10,000 to 7.5. Now it's gone back up to 9. This is with low taxes. With high taxes, we can get straight back up to some pretty decent income. But yes, the push for Mexico is ongoing. We have exactly 0. What are they called? The next one up, protectorates. They're all dominions or puppets, mostly puppets. And we're just slowly demoting everyone down to puppets. It's all going pretty well. And there we go. Goodbye, Mexico. Revoke all your claims, give me war reps, and become my protectorates. Boom. And yes, revolutionary Ecuador. We are having endless revolutions in our puppets. The puppet gameplay has got a lot better in this patch, but it is still a little tedious because it does mean that your subjects constantly have civil wars. But there we go. We have united the United Nations of America. Very nice indeed. There's still some colonization to finish down there and up here, and Alaska is especially important. We're finding lots of nice new mines and things up there. But there we go. Boom. A united America. We collectivize agriculture. It doesn't seem to have crushed our income yet. Obviously, our reinvestment here is looking a little different. Now we have no financial districts and no manor houses. But there you go. And we are running a slight 1 million deficit. Not that bad. We could improve it if we wanted to. We're probably, I assume the industrialists are going to get heavily marginalized pretty soon. Like, there can't be that many people even left. Yeah, the upper strata, now that we've collectivized agriculture. Oh, well, actually, it doesn't seem to be when we collectivize agriculture. It seems to be earlier, but yeah, the upper strata basically don't exist anymore, which is good. We are now using, I mean, our consumption taxes are actually targeting the lower and middle strata quite a bit now, because even our lower strata is at 23 standard of living, which I think is, it's annoying that you can't see their wealth, but their wealth will be like 21 or so before modifiers, I imagine. But yeah, you see what I mean about constant civil wars. Like, it's genuinely constant. So I think I'm gonna have to manually stand down my 100 stacks so that we can allow them to go home, save us a bit of money. And although I guess keeping them raised might help standard of living. Doesn't matter. In terms of laws, yeah, we're never gonna get this done. Multiculturalism. I don't really understand how you're supposed to get it, I guess, because even like the radicals don't support it either, right? And there's no, they have to be, what's the trait? It's like humanist or something, I think. Do anarchists support it? Okay, anarchists support it. Okay, we definitely can do it then. I didn't know anarchists support it. All right, well, it's cool. So we'll still try and pass multiculturalism because we have, I mean, the population of the nation is, yeah, 54% Yankee. You can see I think the number of Dixies has actually gone down over time because we've been absorbing them, and Afro-Americans as well have been becoming Yankee, which is a funny way that cultures work in this game. They're very much, you know, they're cultures, not like phenotypes or anything, which means that by accepting Afro-American, we're making them cease to exist. But look at this, 2.6 million English, 2 million Maya have all just emigrated up north. Loads of Irish have immigrated across. Excellent. But yeah, lots of these, well, some of these, and quite a few of these, will be discriminated against. So if we can stop doing that with multiculturalism, plus we'll open ourselves up to even more immigration. I think I am going to run this campaign to the end date. As you can see, it's still running really well. I'm very impressed by the improvements they've managed to make to the performance. As my number one objection to the game at the start was that it just basically became unplayable, whereas now it's eminently playable all the way to the end date for me, which is great. Obviously, if we cranked our construction like another 2-3x, maybe it would be problematic, but it's working for now. And there you go. We got an anarchist. We got multiculturalism. Excellent. Which means, do we see like an immediate jump in standard of living? What does discrimination even do? I forget. But now we don't discriminate against any of these pops, which means all of these tiny little ones should be able to integrate now, which would be good. Do they still integrate even if they have a, what's it called? A cultural community? I forget. Cultural community doesn't mention anything about them not being able to integrate. But yeah, we have a bit of a personnel shortage. 10,000 peasants and 15,000 unemployed in the whole damn country. I'm doing some pretty ridiculous building projects. Like this is the coffee of Mexico is getting absolutely cranked. I think we're pretty much done on laws. I think that's all the laws we want. We've pretty much got a full utopia. We could still try and like outlaw dissent. Could be funny. Trade unionists really don't like it, but we could do it anyway. There's the intelligentsia, petty bourgeoisie, red army, southern planters, evangelicals are like, yes, yes, shut them up. Although that's ironic, of course, because I mean, what do you think's going to happen? They are the dissent. But yeah, look at that. We are about 60% loyal. Pretty good. Almost 100 million loyalists. Very nice indeed. We've got, you know, all the latest production methods and modern tech and all this stuff. Yes! Migrations from Bengal. Where did that one go? I want to see how many we're getting. We wouldn't have got that, I think, before we had the... only 5,000? 5,000? No, maybe that was before it hit. 6,000? Just 6,000 a week? Outrageous. We are, of course, by far the most attractive to mass migrations. 250 is absolutely bonkers. Building all of these many farms that don't have enough workers is creating a pretty hefty pull from available employment. And our standard of living is obviously substantial. I don't know if I'm going to... When does the game end? Is it 36 or 26 or something? I can't remember. Against extremism. Oh yeah, that's right. We have a socialist party and a communist party. I will... Sure. Socialist party can get some gains. But yeah, the next place is Canada in terms of their attraction, which is basically because they have, I assume, vast tracts of unused arable land. Yeah. But we're giving it a go in terms of going to Antarctica. We failed once, but we have a new chairman. He is another anarchist. Okay, and the election results are in. How did it go? 51% for the communists. And a bunch more. Bedouin mass migration. Cool. Yeah, we got a pretty legitimate government. We could bring the Republicans in out of the cold. Almost at the level where we can get rid of their social criticism. We're number one by a long way. Still number two gross domestic product. Various of our subjects are competing with us for that. What's going on here? No, that's fine. We don't care about the opinion of the petty bourgeoisie. Yeah, all in all, going pretty well. We're probably going to slow down building a bit. I might build a little gold reserve. You know, we don't have to grow at breakneck pace. We're already secure and affluent, overall prosperous. I've never seen this icon before, by the way. The little cheese thing. That's fun. But yeah, the world is, you know, going fairly normal. English are doing pretty well, although not so much in India. Indonesia is an independent great power. We are rivaling everyone that we're able to rival because it just gives us more diplomacy to try and burn down infamy so I can try and annex Canada. Because I do want to annex Canada before the game is over. would they just let us annex them right now? Look at this liberty design, everyone's so low. Where's Canada? There we go. 17% chance. They really don't wanna. That's unfortunate. Even though they're loyal and yeah. Although at 21 liberty desire apparently lowers it. So what if we excuse me. So ideally we need to lower their liberty desire even lower. Alright, well let's start, you know, bankrolling, funding lobbies, all that good stuff. But yeah, I want to get Canada annexed and I want to get Mexico our colour. And then we've pretty much done it in terms of geopolitical goals. Alright, we have no infamy, or almost no infamy, so time to start integrating people. I'm going to start, I mean, I guess we should start with the people who are most likely to just accept it. I was thinking of maybe just doing Canada, but maybe we should just do everybody. Because if we integrate new areas, you know, it's easier for them to migrate up to, let's just do Canada. They're not going to accept 48 infamy, whatever, Canada. You say you don't accept, I say I have an awful lot of troops. And I haven't increased the size of our army for about 20 years. So if people side against us, it's possible we'll need to increase the size of our army to deal with it. But it didn't look like anybody is that interested in backing Canada. Maybe Indonesia will, but where's your capital? It was up here at one point. It's Quebec. Cool. So Quebec, oh, it was already a strategic objective from a previous war. Cool. So Quebec is the strategic objective, and we'll deploy the navy, and we'll roar in here. Our upgraded, relatively high-tech navy as well, and we'll yoink Canada. All right, to arms, to war it is. France and Indonesia backed them, so they have potentially 500 battalions. To that end, I've increased these two armies to size 200. And all three of these to size 100. It's also occurred to me that we actually missed some American land. The French East Indies still exists. So we are going in there. Look at the size of this battle. 43 offense to 52 defense. We do have a bit more offense than that. We have an average of 42 on this front. But yeah, this kill-death ratio is looking promising. We're just defending the front up in Alaska, because obviously all we really need to do is take Quebec, and then we should be in a good place to enforce our demands on Canada. Meanwhile, there we go, yoinked this bit, so you guys can, yeah, come up here and back us up. We're fighting them at sea, sinking tons of enemy convoys. Should be a relatively easy war. We're sending them to the bottom in these wars here, and there we go, already got a decent 25% chunk of Quebec occupied. Love to see that. I take this as a credit to our gameplay. We're not just getting migrations of like oppressed peoples. We're having North Germans migrating from Prussia, that famous, heavily industrialized, prosperous land, to us. Glorious. And also, yes, we outnumber them now 4-1 on this after some. This was a more difficult fight, but now the kill-death ratio is becoming a little absurd, and I think with that battle, thus falls Quebec. Excellent. Which means now I think we can just wait. Yeah, their war score is going to go negative now, so we can just wait until we enforce on Canada, and then just wait out everyone else to white peace. It's D-Day time, boys. France still holds land in the East Indies, so sorry France. I'm arriving with 3 fleets. There goes Canada, by the way. Boom. Nice. Disband their armies. We don't need them. We're not discriminating against Canadian culture, so should have no extra turmoil or anything. But yeah, pretty measly population bump. Not very many people in Canada. And yeah, not even noticeable on the GDP graph. But where are my fleets supporting these invasions? There's one there. They should be on their way. Oh, here they are. Good. And we are, what, fighting them at sea to make the landing? Yes, nice. And we are much stronger and have far bigger fleets. They have a pretty big defensive force, though. Let's see. Yeah, we're pushing through. Taking quite a few casualties. If we have to wipe peace out of this and then do a separate war against France, it won't be the worst thing. And I don't care about the rest of this stuff. I only want the... There we go. Only want the East Indies off them. But yeah, I should have invaded them while they were still in Canada, really. Annoyingly, they teleport home, which is frustrating. But with 3 landings, hopefully one of them makes it. Doesn't look good though. With 388 able to simultaneously defend against us. Maybe I should just focus on military tech for a while. I really don't want these because we don't have enough oil. So, sure, let's invent tanks. Why not? Yeah, is this any more successful? No, we're probably not going to be able to land because, yeah, they've got too many people to defend with at the same time. But let's leave them trying for a moment. We've got, you know, we got troops to spare, but we can just wipe peace out and get them in the next war, I think. If we do a specific war where the only war goal I put on France is this, we'll obviously be able to take it super easily. Yeah, it's not looking promising. Alright, let's call these off. And call that a win, because we got Canada. So we'll wipe peace out of that one. Boom! Look at that. Beautiful. We have to incorporate all this, don't we? Yeah. Oof, lots of bureaucracy spend to do that, but that's okay. We can't make Alaska a state yet, sadly. Boom. Okay, nice. So I'm not going to annex anyone else in the south because I forgot that it puts a time modifier on all of your subjects that makes them want more liberty. So we want to make sure we get Mexico our color. So we're going to focus on that for now. Also declaring a huge number of interests anywhere that I think France might be active, with the idea being we will be able to side against them in plays and therefore just say, hey, put me in the play and give me this and see if we can do that. Oh, hey, Italy exists. And there we go. America is officially blue. Nice. Not quite, because there's this darn revolt here, and the Chileans are taking ages to finish colonizing that. And it takes us ages to colonize up here. 50 days per thing, which is the fastest we can make it go. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. We are going to test out our army. France beat us in D-Day, so we're offended. We're going to go do that again, I think. Because, of course, it's blue, but the French West Indies is not quite owned by us. The game is now seriously slowing down, so we're definitely not going to make it. Oh, to 36. I don't think. I think we're just going to probably call it after we give France a little bit of a taste of our new tank army. Mobile armor is being invented. We have a heavily subsidized war machine industry in New York. Should be fun. Well, that's fortuitous timing. Mobile armor unlocked, or the Kingdom of France. Excellent. So now I think we can go and say, hey, War Machine Industries, make tanks. We'll be making 1,100 tanks. That's going to give us expensive airplanes. We'll have to build more War Machine Industries, I guess. It's fine. We're not worried about optimizing profitability at this stage. So then what? Can I activate tanks on this thing? Or does this just have tanks associated? Or do tanks... How do tanks work? It's not flamethrowers. We're inventing that next. Oh, they're probably a cavalry unit, aren't they? Grade all units. So like if I look at a particular unit here, yeah, they are. Heavy tanks are the artillery, and light tanks are the cav. That's not how heavy tanks work, but never mind. Cool. So presumably to have these, it consumes 3 tanks. Ooh, 3 tanks per division. That's quite a lot. But yes, we are charging in here. I could lure the French army out here and then just invade Paris. Instead, I'm going to occupy here, which will teleport the French home. Here they go, look. Whee! And whee! And then they vanish. Okay, and they're back here. We're going to let our guys mobilize. And then I'm going to launch a massive naval invasion of France. And our navies are not quite fully deployed. They are getting bigger, though. Hopefully, this will be enough to... bring us great victory. We'll see. All right, D-Day underway. I was thinking about waiting for stormtroopers to finish, but I'm pretty sure we're going to win even without it. Especially because, unfortunately, France is being distracted by a war with Hungary. But here we go. Everybody ready to land? First landing. Unsuccessful. But there's 150 of their units tied up in that one, right? Which means we just landed instantly. Okay, well, that's anticlimactic. They are fighting us here, though. Oh, unsuccessfully. Unsuccessfully. Jesus Christ, these battles are ending fast. Let's watch one of these battles start. Yeah, even with our 70 offense, landing against hard defenders is a bit tough. But let's see. Give us a battle. Give us a battle. Let's take a look here. I want to see how good our tanks are. We have finished upgrading our units, right? These are all... Oh, we haven't. They're all in the process of upgrading. They're still old, boring old artillery. Okay, they're starting the battles with 0 people in them. Okay. How about when there are people? Okay, there's some here, but not many. Here we go, proper battle. Yeah, the ratios still aren't that crazy. We are using some mechanized artillery, but yeah, the tanks haven't upgraded up yet. That's a shame. Still, that's what you get for resisting my previous landing, France. We've already yoinked their capital, and of course we still have control back here. All of Italy is blue. Glorious. Is France the second place great power, by the way? Where do I even see that? Or GDP. Yeah, the second place GDP. Wow, Britain's all the way down in 7th. Blimey. Yeah, GDP per capita, we've lost places to a bunch of our subjects. I've been building just staggering quantities of stuff in all of our subjects. But, yeah, I mean, we have, as it's still here, yeah, overseas investment. It's dropped a bit, but yeah, we own 83% of all of Mexico's economy because I built just so much stuff. Also, we're bankrolling everyone in the whole Americas and supporting lobbies in the whole Americas. So you see we've got quite a lot. I mean, there's some anti-us lobbies as well, but lots and lots of pro-us lobbies. Lots of anti-us lobbies in the old world. I wonder how that happens. But yes, we are absolutely rampaging through. It's a shame that we didn't have the tanks ready in time, but we are consuming a whole bunch of tanks, so I guess the upgrades are ongoing, but oh well. And yes, this naval invasion is still going. Nice. So we are going to actually succeed at this naval invasion. Nice. Now, France, give me the West Indies. They're not willing to do it? Well, we'll beat them up a bit more and then they will. And there we go. They're willing to give up. Quick little... I mean, 2-to-1 casualty ratio is not... It's not really what I was hoping for, but anyway. Great victory. And with that... Oh, that's freaking... Civil War. Alright, we'll go deal with the Civil War first. There we go. Okay, a few more Civil Wars fought. And let's end the series there, shall we? And by series, I mean video. Well, it went pretty well. Pretty well. We have a... the mighty armed forces. I realized why we weren't getting heavy tanks, by the way. It's because you can't upgrade siege artillery to heavy tanks. That would be too easy and user-friendly. Instead, you have to delete all your siege artillery and then build heavy tanks instead, which is better, apparently, somehow. So we have a massive army, far bigger than anyone else's in the world. We have a massive navy, far bigger than anyone else in the world. I think we could probably take on basically everybody. We have a whole load of broken tooltips because... the game doesn't account for the fact that they could be taller than your screen, which is quite funny. Pretty good. Totally United Americas. Tiny little bit of decentralized nations in the very north and south, but that's fine. They would be, you know, over the next few years, that colonization effort would finish. We have almost everyone as a puppet, couple as a dominion, very few with high liberty desire, just like 3 people in the top band of liberty desire. Obviously, over the next while, we could just annex, and unite the whole Americas. 1.6 billion GDP, up and to the right. Same with population. Massive, massive amounts of mass migrations, constantly going on. Goods-wise, we're producing, I mean... Look at this thing. We're producing 224,000 coal, 210,000 tools, 154,000 steel, 140,000 grain. There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff in here. So how much oil did we end up with? Like, what was the total oil output of the Americas? and this is the whole market, 55.2 thousand, and we still have a massive shortage because we're trying to use it for so many things. But yeah, there it is. The American market, the United Nations of America, 100% cohesive, glorious, with all its many members. Biggest being Mexico, then Peru, Bolivia. That checks out. That makes sense. We obviously absolutely splintered Brazil, so they're all the way down here. But yeah, there you go. Fun campaign. It was right. It's pretty good. I think it's probably enough Victoria 3 for me for a while, but it's good. It's good for a couple of campaigns. And yeah, playing as America, definitely completely trivial, don't get me wrong. But the late game always seems extremely samey. As soon as you're past, I guess it's a skill issue thing. As soon as I'm past the production chains that I can actually kind of keep in my head, it's just like, oh, I guess I'll just build 50 of this random factory and kind of just go from there. I'm not completely sold on using cooperative ownership Council Republic. It feels like having a much, much more powerful private investment fund is better, because auto expand, I mean, you could do it all yourself, obviously, but auto expand, which we ended up just turning on everything. It's turned off on everything because as soon as you get one thing, it doesn't auto conform. The game is not built with scaling the size of your economy in mind, which is kind of crazy. But so you have to go back through every time and re-click all these. But anyway, auto expand doesn't invest nearly as aggressively as the private investment pool. So I think next time I'm just going to stay on laissez-faire. We did get pretty crazy standard of living, but this is the jump from cooperative ownership, and then this I think is the jump from collectivizing agriculture. It's not a crazy difference, honestly, and it doesn't really show up in the GDP increase because yeah, they're buying more goods that are more expensive and so on. But the reason we still have any upper strata, by the way, is quite funny. They only exist because the Panama Canal employs them. So the Panama Canal will permanently be employing 500 capitalists, which means we technically still have an upper strata, which I like. I think that's quite funny. Yeah, about 10,000 construction for the last 25 years or something. It was pretty good. Obviously, very strong trade unionists. Took us ages to get communism. I was trying for it. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered trying for it. I think it might be a kind of interesting challenge trying not to go, communist, because your trade unions get so powerful. I was helping them, but they just get so powerful naturally. I think trying to never put the trade unions in government would be an interesting challenge. Maybe playing as like Qing and trying to just remain industrialist focus would be interesting. But yeah, there you go. Good game. I recommend a game as America. It's especially good as a beginner. Having this many subjects, I guess, powerful. We got a lot of immigration from them. They didn't really make us very much money, but they did give us a lot of goods and things, and the capacity to build in them obviously helps with that enormously. You can see that we built, they'll have discovered some new ones since then, but in the international market, not the international market, but the block market, we built a huge portion of all of these iron mines and lead mines and rubber plantations and all that across the Americas. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. A bit of a longer one, diving into the actual events a little bit more in this one. Hope you enjoyed it.